Yes, welcome into IATD TV. My name is Kurt, and today we're going to be showcasing our second deck profile that we've been working on during COVID. This time, as you can probably tell, this is a Gren Maju deck. This also incorporates the Golden Castle cards, and without any further ado, we will see what this deck breaks down into. So we start off with 3 copies of Gren Maju. What the deck is based around is what you're going to pump up to massive attack points. Now, if you saw the guy that topped the YCS in second place, he didn't quite care so much about the Gren Maju, but this deck for me is all about getting him up and high attack points. 3 copies of Necroface. Now he's back, we might as well run him at 3. Absolutely fantastic, can do additional damage and recycle the deck. Eater of Millions. This is fantastic. It's a nice bit of removal and again can help pump Gren Maju up to fantastic attack. 3 copies of Orochi. Similar reasons, it's good removal, and we can summon it and get a lot of cards banished by its effect. 1 copy of Pankratops. We're going second in this deck, and we're going to blind second, so 1 copy of Pankratops is probably the way to go. As for the Golden Castle cards, we have 3 copies of the Golden Castle of Stromberg. Absolutely fantastic card, probably my favourite spell card of all time. 1 copy of Terraforming. 3 copies of Glyph. That is your second, third, and fourth copies of Terraforming to get you into the Golden Castle, and it can pop spells and traps, but that doesn't come up too often. 3 copies of Hextrude. Again, see, good utility pop and a level 8, so we can make some rank 8s if we need to as well. Fantastic addition. Now, because we are a blind second deck, we do need a plan to go first, so we have 1 Princessin, 1 Pumpkin Carriage, and 1 Glass Slippers. The Glass Slippers is a brick, you don't want to draw it, so we run it at 1, and same with the Princessin and Pumpkin Carriage. It's a nice play to protect the Golden Castle when we go first, and just gives us something else we can do. 1 copy of Goldsark. It's fantastic, speaks for itself. You're going to get value off of this whenever you draw it. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Again, it's going to generate a great advantage, especially if you can banish a Necroface off it. 3 copies of Pot of Desires. Again, this is a cracking little card for the deck. It's going to banish your 10, get you 2 more cards, and really help extend your strategy. For an interesting little card, 3 copies of Ectoplasma. This card I really like in this deck, as it just can help burn through for some extra damage. Doesn't come up too often, but it's nice when it does. We have 3 copies of Gravedigger's Trap Hole. It's fantastic, it's better than Called by the Grave in my opinion, and we can also burn for 2,000 to help kill them that little bit quicker. And lastly, 1 copy of Mystical Ref Panel. It's a fantastic little card, it can benefit us in a numerous amount of ways in this deck, and just running a cheeky little copy of it can help us extend our strategy even further. So that about does it for the main deck. I'll tidy up this pile of cards very briefly. And we will move on to the extra deck. So what I would say with this extra deck is most of it is just fodder for Eater of Millions. So for a start, 5-headed dragon, just in there for the Eater of Millions. We've got 1 Nightmare Griffin, 2 Phoenix, 1 Anima, Transcode Talker, Trisbania, Yugioh, Boral Sword, Boral Load, and the 4 cards or 5 cards that we're more than likely to make in this extra deck. So we have a Lancelot, a Hope Harbinger, Zombie Stein, and 2 copies of Dingirsu. And the rank 8s are going to help because it's going to help us get Gizmek Orochi into the graveyard for another 8 cards of banishment for the next turn. So it really synergizes quite well. Lancelot is probably the easiest way because it is a mandatory negate to get it into the graveyard again. And that about wraps it up for our Golden Castle Gren Maju deck. It's a very nice little interesting build. We put a few little spicy cards in there just to change things up. As you can see, this deck differs in the fact that it isn't all about spamming out rank 8s. This is more about getting Gren Maju up to a nice fat attack points and dealing damage in one big fat swing. So anyway, let me know down in the comments what decks you're working on. This is a couple of tiers down from the Zombie World Eldritch deck that I have been working on as well. So what fun decks have you got in store, and what are you looking forward to playing at locals? And that's it from me. This is IATD TV signing off. Peace out.